Welcome. In this section, we'll start exploring the CorelDRAW and start using the tools. This is page navigation bar. You can add more pages. It will ask you for the size of the page. This is the document navigation bar. If we want two objects, we can add here. If we click, it will start another object as if it's another CorelDRAW page. When we want to save, they will save differently from the earlier one. It's different from this page navigation. The page navigation will insert pages in this single document, but this will insert another document. We have this. You can insert image. This import. You can import image into your CorelDRAW. If I click import, it will take me to the last folder I used. You browse to the image you want to insert and you can call up the image. Let's check the image we'll use. When you import image, it will be waiting for you to draw a box that will show the size of the image. If you don't draw a box, it will use the properties. You see, it's showing you the properties of the bed. So if we draw a box, it will maintain this size. Draw is wonderful in managing pictures. We can stretch pictures without losing much quality. So this is one object you can put into CorelDRAW. Remember that anything you draw or image you import here are called objects. The other thing you can do is to put objects here yourself. You notice what happened when we brought this in. The interactive toolbar changed, giving us the tools we can use to work on this. So we can insert box. We click on box and draw. We can insert circle. Shapes. We call them regular shape. It's different from the shapes you draw by your hand. This is the pick tool. It's like the normal mouse pointer. You use it to select what you want. If you click on a tool and you finish using it, it's waiting for you. It has not dropped the tool. Press your space bar, press escape or you double click to leave the tool. So here you will have a box. This, most graphics you draw will have the fill, which is the inside color, and the pen outline, which you can change. So this is bigger now, but we are not seeing it well unless you zoom. This is your zoom tool. Most of your CorelDRAW work will be zooming into your objects and zooming out. You see that the property toolbar has changed to zoom. So this is how to make a box. We use this to move the box. As we click here in the property bars, it tells us where the object is in space. It tells us the dimension of the object. Because our ruler is pixel, it gave us the dimension. This is the angular, the rotational tool. We can type anything here to rotate it to that angle, clockwise, anti-clockwise. So if you have this object here, in every object you draw, they have these anchors. So these are 6 of them. You can use it to stretch by dragging. Stretch. You can use it to stretch. Then there are other things you can do with it. You've seen here you can rotate, you can change the size. By stretching, the size has changed. But if we click again, you see that we can rotate it manually. And it has noticed the rotation. So if we type 0 here, it goes back to our normal size. We can also use the undo to get back to our normal position. So this is skew. It will skew your object just like as I'm doing now. So once you want to get back to what you did before, remember your undo will get we still have repeat do. Okay. So this is an object and this is an object. Then in most cases you'll be sketching your own object. You won't rely on regular objects. So here we'll have our drawing tools. This is freehand drawing. With freehand drawing, you can draw an object. Once you click and drag your drawing, if you remove your hand, it ends the drawing. You press spacebar to leave the tool. We'll have another type. We'll have several pens here. We'll discuss all of them, but for now, the freehand will just give you a segment when you remove your hand. The polyline will continue if you remove your hand. If I click here now, I will go to another place and click. You see it follows me as I'm clicking. It's dropping the anchor point, but it did not break like the freehand. If I come near the starting point, it will ask if I want to join it. If I click, it will join. Another way to join objects is to use the join here. So if we go to freehand drawing and draw an object, this is not closed. If it is not closed, it will not, let's click it will not color. The inside is empty. If we want it closed, we'll do this. If we do, it will close it and color it with the last color that we have. So if I want to manipulate the pen and the feel of this, if I click here now, you see that I will have options here to use the pen. This is vertical mirror, this is horizontal mirror. If I click it, I have the angle, but we'll have limited things we can do here. If I want to change the color, I'll click here to change the color. If I want to change the color of the pen, if I double click here, I can change the color of the pen. But what you always have in view when you're working with objects is the Dockers panel. The Dockers panel will show you all the things you can do with an object. If we go to the properties bar here now and click, a Docker will appear here that contains the tools you can use to manipulate this object. From here, I can click this and change the fill color. If I go to fill, I can change the fill color. It's easier to use all these things. I can change the arrangement of color here to this color viewer. Color viewer will give you all the colors, which are millions of colors based on what you select here. First of all, go to the color palette you want, then come inside here and choose the exact color you want. So it's a wonderful tool. Then about pen, now we can change the size of the pen by clicking pen. We'll come to the size here and change the size. We can also change the color of the pen. You see what happens in the Docker. From one point we are doing so many things. Now we have the transparency tool here, and we have this effects tool. So you see that you have a lot of things you can do with this. As we walk deep into CorelDRAW, we'll use all the tools. For now, we concentrate on the pen. So if we want to draw, so you click the freehand drawing, then you draw. You press the space bar to stop drawing. If you click shape tool, you notice that this has the beginning of the drawing, the tip. It's like an arrow, and this is the tail of the arrow. If I want to join these 2 points, I can do that the join here. When I was drawing, not now. But if I want to close it now that I finished drawing, I have to select the 2 nodes. We are interested in only 2 nodes, and I can click here to join the 2. So when we are drawing, as you're clicking, you have notes. These are called notes. You can move them to create another shape or modify the one you've drawn. Each one will click, you see an anchor here. You drag it to make more complex table. You see what is happening here. So it's a very good tool too. The shape of the end result of your dragging it is shown here. If we click here, when we drag it, it will end up with that type of shape. If we click here, when we drag, it ends up with this type of shape. This is so you'll be visiting here to select the shape you want. When you're working on a particular node, not all the shapes will be visible. Here, this is not visible. It means it's not possible for you to use it. But if it is possible, like we'll add more nodes here. We'll add more nodes, and you see we'll have more options. This says that when we drag this node, that it will be pointed like this. But while we are dragging, and even we clicked here, it will have a shape like arc. So these are what you come here to do. With the shape tool, you can start with anything and end up with another thing. An important thing to mention is that the regular shapes like circle and this way will provide very few nodes. If you want to shape with them, you have to convert them to curve. They are not curved, they are regular shapes. So if I come to this, I have only 4 nodes and I can't manipulate them much. This is the highest they can go. If I click this one now, it has only 1 node, which I can only move this way. If I want to use this for drawing, I have to change it, convert it to curve. So how do we do that? You come to this place and you see convert to curve. Once I click, I've converted it to curve. I can add more nodes. To add your node, click here. When the shape tool is giving this sign, you click, then come here and click add node. In the same way, you can click a node and delete it. For example, we come here and click this node. If we delete it, we'll adjust to nearby nodes. So we delete and our shape adjusted to the next adjacent shapes. So if you're working on this now, you find out that you can turn this to just any shape you want just by manipulating and adding nodes. Another way to add node is to just double click. If I could double click any place, I can add node to it. So we'll have double click when this is showing the sign S. You can double click to add node. Another way is to click once and come here and say add node. Remember your delete node. Remember to your join. This joins a O, and we can break a node. So if we select this node, we can click break, delete node. So delete it. And we can click the break. We select this node. We can come here and break the node. When you break a node, the starting arrow and end arrow shows it. If I want to join this node again, I have 3 options. I can select the 2 nodes and come here and say join node. That's one way. Another way is to click, let's get out of here. Another way is to drag the nodes so that they meet each other. If I do, this pointer will come out. Once I see it, I can release my hand. Another way you can join your line is while drawing. Now I've finished drawing, and here I have option to automatically close the drawing. It will close it. So in the next lecture. We'll continue with these tools. See you in the next lecture.